Welcome all to the first in a series of videos I'm going to put together with a real positive spin on life, which at the moment is a little bit hard to come by. I felt a little bit compelled as I've been in Bali for the last 2.5, 3 weeks with an amazing group of people, and we're all super positive, free diving, meditation, yoga, just generally having fun. A little bit of partying happening, and then all of a sudden, we had no news. We had zero news, which was fantastic. And then I arrived back in Australia to the news of obviously the fact that we've got to do 14 days of isolation, quarantine, whatever you want to call it. And the news has been insane. I personally really haven't followed any of it. I choose to turn off the TV and not really tune in too much because it's, funnily enough, there's no murders, there's no robberies, there's no car accidents at the moment. It's just coronavirus. Lots of language that's not real helpful either. It's all fear-mongering and anxiety breeding. And so I just felt a little bit compelled, since I've got much more time now, to do something about it. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why my nose is red, I had an unfortunate little yoga accident trying something a little bit new and went face first into the carpet, so that's why I look like Rudolph. But it's really important because I talk about it a lot in my courses and public speaking sessions, etc., about the fact that stress is responsible for 95% of all illnesses, sicknesses, etc. And what stress and anxiety and all of these things do is they suppress our immune system. And at the moment, our immune system is our first line of defense and really our only line of defense in this battle, because we don't have a cure. There's no vaccine as yet. So the fact that people are running around stressed and anxious and worrying about everything means that collectively, as a population, we're suppressing our immune system, which is our only defense. So basically, we're kind of, in a way, helping the spread of this by buying into what's happening in the media and stuff like that. So a lot of people have been, messaging me and going, "This is super serious. You need to do this, you need to do that," and rah 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 rah. And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand, and I'll do everything that I can from my part. Wash your hands, don't get too close to people. I'm gonna have to stay in this place in my house for 14 days, all that sort of stuff." But at the end of the day, I can't create a cure. I'm not smart enough. I can't create a vaccine. So I'm just going to try my best to be super positive, have a good diet, do some meditation, which helps in bolstering your immune system, bringing down stress, all those sorts of things. Do a bit of yoga on my deck here. Do some things that I haven't got around to, like sorting paperwork and admin and doing stuff around the yard that always gets neglected. But basically just trying to keep in a good headspace, because our mental well-being is the most important thing right now. And like I said, it will have a major effect on whether or not you can fight this. So yeah, I just wanted to get this out there because the media are absolutely loving this at the moment. It means they get huge ratings because people tune in, they want to watch, they want to see what's going on. But we also have a responsibility with things as well. Don't just go out there and cancel all your memberships and things because you don't want to be around other people if you're not quarantined. I mean, people are still trying to run small businesses. If you go out there and just cancel your membership to your gym or whatever, I mean, that's a fear response, and then all of a sudden the economy gets worse and worse. So we're in very real danger of the financial system collapsing, and if that collapses, that's very bad. So what these sessions are going to be, I'm not going to do yoga today. I had my crack at that today. But we're going to run through just some very simple things day by day that can help you. I quite often talk about we have two systems, which are a part of the autonomic nervous system. So they used to think that the autonomic nervous system meant that whether you were stressed or whether you were happy, you had no real bearing on. But now we know, now we have science behind the fact that we can actually we can control our nervous system very quickly, very easily. Freedivers have known this for a very long time, but now there's a lot of science behind it. So sympathetic nervous system is where most of the population is at the moment. It's our stress zone of fight and flight. You would have felt this if you've ever done public speaking and you were scared. You have no saliva in your mouth, your heart rate's through the roof, basically suppresses your immune system, hinders your digestion, all these things that make us operate subpar. In an environment where we're wanting to fight something, that's not ideal. So that's your sympathetic nervous system. Then you have your parasympathetic nervous system, which is nicknamed your rest, digest, and regenerate system. Now, quite often we only get there as people when we hear that chick of a beer or when we're asleep. And this is the zone we need to be in a lot. This is the zone where we'll be able to fight viruses, infections, etc., etc. Now, to be able to get from your sympathetic nervous system to your parasympathetic nervous system is very simple. It takes some practice, but very simple. Basically, it's three main things: diaphragmatically breathing, or breathing through your belly, which we'll try in a second. Closing down the eyes, because closing down the eyes is significant. It signals to the brain that we're in a safe environment, we're in a safe space. And lengthening out your exhale. All of these things stimulate what's called the vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in the human body, an amazing nerve. There's a lot of research out on it at the moment, and so stimulates that nerve and then can put us into our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, it's on average about 3 to 5 minutes of that breathing. Now, the more you do, the easier it is to get there. So we're going to start with some stuff today, just some real simple stuff that a lot of us don't do or don't take time out to do. But basically, firstly, what I want you to do is, even if you pause this somehow or whatever, is just practice diaphragmatically breathing through the nose. And one of the easiest ways you can do it is put your hand on your chest, put the other hand on your belly, and practice just your belly moving. So in through the nose, out through the mouth or nose, it doesn't really matter. But lengthen that exhale. In through the nose. Let go of the shoulders on the way out. Make sure you're super relaxed. The only thing that should be working in that diaphragmatic breathing is your belly. Now, if you do that for long enough, vagus nerve stimulated, you can get yourself into your parasympathetic. Now, the beauty with this type of stuff is the more you do it. So if you're in isolation, if you're in this zone like I am, the more you do it, the body-brain connection gets stronger, which is, again, we're starting to get some real research into this body-brain connection, which, the yogis, etc., have been talking about for a very long time, where it gets stronger. So your body, relaxing down your body, will send signals to your brain that everything's okay. Relaxing your mind will send signals to the body. It's a two-way street. So when you start to shut down and do some of these breathing exercises, that connection gets stronger, and so you can get there quicker. But also you find a lot more peace in this kind of practice, and you can do it then for longer and longer periods of time. And you'll find that even in just short moments, like moments when you kind of hear something, or, oh my God, they're going to shut down the borders or whatever, just the ability to bring yourself back with maybe 1 or 2 breaths. Just kind of catch yourself in that moment of anxiety and bring yourself back. So one of the things we're going to start with today is it's like, in the yogic terms, it's like Nadi Shodha or something. I never get the yogi ones right. but it's alternate nostril breathing. This one's a really good one to start with. And what I want you to do is, if you can pause this, I want you to start with just like 5 minutes. So the thing with meditation and all this type of thing is that you want to start small, in my opinion. If like, you know, sometimes when people are taught, they're like, oh, you have to do a minimum of 20 minutes. It's like, well, for most people, that's not achievable. They can't just all of a sudden not go from not doing it to just like, oh, I'll bang out 20 minutes of closing my eyes and doing nothing. So this one's very easy for people to start with because it requires you to kind of stay with it and remember where you're at. So once again, through the nose, which means that when you go through the nose with something like this, it generally will activate your belly automatically. So this is great for focus as well. I find this before public speaking or before something where I'm like a little bit too high, maybe I need to bring myself down, I'll do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So it's really quite simple. If you want to look like the yogis, 2 fingers, these ones, index and the root finger, onto the third eye, use your thumb and your wedding finger to alternate your nostrils. Like so. But we'll start with through the left, out through the right. Back in through the right. Out through the left. Back in through the left. Out through the right. And so on. Now you do that for 5 minutes. I can guarantee you you'll be in your parasympathetic, but because you've got to think about like in left, out right, back in through the right, out through the left, back in through, it's a really good thing because meditation is not so much about not thinking, it's about, you know, in the yoga world they talk about this monkey mind where it's like there's a monkey and there's like banana, banana, and bananas are just the thoughts. So what you're doing with a practice like this is just grabbing that monkey, putting it aside for a second and telling it to just chill out, all right? And the brain loves doing one thing at a time. It calms it, bang. Not only that, you're focusing on your breath, which is really good for our health. You're in your parasympathetic, all of these type of things which have amazing health benefits, but also bring you back to that current moment, which at the moment we're not. People just aren't in the present. They're thinking about, do I have enough toilet paper? Do I have enough food? Is the economy gonna just break down and people start looting and all the rest of it? Like, people are so future thinking at the moment, and that's when you live in your sympathetic, your stress zone, and that's when your immune system's down. So, you know, you're basically hashtag making the problem worse. So, you know, for mine, I'm just not worried because I know, like, I talk quite a lot about control the controllables, and you know that's all you can do. So I can control my diet, I can control exercise around here. They're the things I can control. I can't make a cure, I can't make a vaccine, so why worry about it? You know, it's just kind of how it is. I'm day 3 into 14 days of isolation, which is torture for me because, you know, generally I'm out teaching people free diving or talking to people about it or doing some speaking events or surfing or free diving myself, and now I'm in these 4 walls. I got my little yard, got Chili, my dog, which has been fun, just go and throw the stick around the yard for him. But it's tough for everyone, but you know, it's little things like this, but you just can't stress. Turn off the bloody news. You know, like there's just nothing good on it at the moment. There's absolutely nothing good on it. It's just all COVID-19 or whatever they're calling it. It's all coronavirus. But once again, like I said, you know, there's certain things you can do to minimize the spread and risk, and I'm not saying don't do that, but if you just live in fear, which is what the media is doing to us and instilling us with anxiety, you are suppressing your only line of defense right now. It is literally all we have. So it's a fairly simple equation for me. But guys, that first little tip, that alternate nostril breathing, the yogis will say, like, one nostril is usually always more blocked than the other. The yogis will say it's whatever side of the brain you are. So if you're left brain, that'll be clear, and vice versa. There is some kind of science behind the fact that it depends which side you sleep on, as the mucus will go to one side. That's why the other one's blocked. It actually does help with unblocking, I've found. It is good for, flexibility, even working that region, those intercostal regions. It is a bit of a CO2 drill, so for your free divers out there, it's a little bit if you kind of work on getting it more and more. So what you might find, even just anyone who's not a free diver, what you might find, you might start where you're literally just doing, say, 6 seconds in, and then you just get better and better at it. You might get up to 8 seconds and so on. But the main thing is it's just a really good mindfulness exercise. It can be the start of the meditation for people out there who already meditate. I know this is very simple, but this is for everyone. So kind of hashtag positive Corvin-19. Let's get some positivity out there. Let's look after each other. Hope you enjoyed.